Unfortunately for the lady, I'd been facing her and threw up all over her pants and shoes. She screamed, but it wasn't stopping and I kept going. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am your average Redditor, and today we're revisiting r/IDontWorkHereLady. Woman stops me at Walmart on my day off and I throw up on her. So I've worked at Walmart for 3 years and I've never experienced any of the rude customers or general craziness associated with Walmart. Well, it's my day off and I happened to get sick to my stomach. I had already thrown up twice, so my mum decided to take me to Walmart to get the things that I needed to get better. She insisted that I just stay in bed while she gets the things, but she often got the wrong things, so I decided to go to get them myself. Big mistake. When we arrived, we started to get our things and tried to get out as fast as possible since I was starting to feel really bad. When we were on our way to the checkout, this woman stops us. I recognised her since she was there the day before when I was working. She started to ask me about stuff and I had to tell her that I wasn't working today. She huffed and said, "You can still help me out. All I want to know is where the dog food is." I point at the direction of the dog food and try to get her out of there because my stomach was starting to hurt. She stops me again and says, "I already looked over there and I couldn't find it. Just come show me." My mum tells that lady that I'm sick and that I don't have time to go with her and just find somebody else to help her. She tells my mum to shut up and looks back at me and says, "It'll just be a few minutes. Come on and help me find it." My mum tells this woman to back off and leave me alone, but the woman is insistent that I help her. Just then it feels like somebody had grabbed my stomach and started squeezing it, and I started to throw up. Unfortunately for the lady, I'd been facing her and threw up all over her pants and shoes. She screamed, but it wasn't stopping and I kept going. She had backed up after I'd started and was screaming for a manager. My mum was holding me while I tried to stop, but the pain in my stomach was too much and I just kept going. One of the cashiers saw what was going on and immediately radioed for a manager and a custodian. One of the managers comes over and sees the mess, and the lady is crying to him about how I puked all over her. My mum tells him that I was trying to leave, but the lady wouldn't let me. The manager takes her to the back and the cashier, who I'm friends with, takes me outside and sits with me while my mum goes to pay for the stuff. I honestly didn't mean to throw up on her, but as soon as it started coming up, I couldn't stop it. I feel bad for the custodian who has to clean up my throw up. And I feel bad for the lady since I hate throwing up and can only imagine how it feels to have someone throw up on you. I'm also dreading the day I have to go back since I know that this story is going to spread like wildfire. Surprisingly enough, the lady ended up admitting that it was her fault since she kept me there when I clearly needed to get out of there. Everything is okay now, but man, that was the most embarrassing moment of my life. OP should not feel like this is her fault at all. This woman was being an absolute idiot. And also, you shouldn't dread your co-workers finding out about this. You achieved what few dream of. You probably taught that woman the lesson of her life. You're a legend. You're always a waitress. It doesn't matter what restaurant we're in. I'm a waitress at a local restaurant. On my day off, I scheduled a lunch date with a guy from school. Traffic was brutal, so he was running late. I was sitting at my table looking at the menu. Note, this is not the restaurant I work at. It isn't the same kind of food as the restaurant I work at, and it is geographically nowhere near the restaurant I work at. A woman came up and took my menu out of my hands. "Why are you just sitting here? We've been waiting for service for 45 minutes. No, they hadn't. They came in the same time I did, 10 minutes ago, and they'd already gotten drinks. "Mom, I don't work here." I didn't recognise her at this point. "Don't lie to me. You're a waitress. You served me just last week. Don't you remember?" I vaguely remember her coming into my restaurant now because she complained her meal wasn't served with hot sauce, then sent it back because it was too spicy. I'm a waitress at a local Mexican restaurant, but I am not a waitress at a local burger bar. She says, "Same difference. You're a waitress. Get a pen and paper and take down our orders." I am a waitress, but not here. I'm just trying to enjoy my lunch like you are. I am not employed here in any capacity. To which she replies, "But you're a trained waitress and this place is clearly running behind. Don't you people take an oath or something?" Oh yeah, that famous oath of waitressing, how could I forget? A little bit of r/malicious compliance kicked in because I rarely get to stand up to this kind of stupidity in my role as a server because 99.9% of the time it happens while I'm actually at work. So I went over to their table with a pen and paper from my backpack. I wrote down all their orders. I said it would be 45 minutes and to just sit tight. I see what's going on here. I even brought over ketchup they asked for, just grabbed off another table. Then I left. I texted my date to meet me at a place a few blocks over. The next day, the lady had called my boss at my actual restaurant, as well as totally unleashed on the manager at the restaurant I was dining at. I felt bad when I realised the tough spot I'd left the people who actually worked there in, so I went back the next day to apologise and follow up on the aftermath. Thankfully, they were chill and we had a great laugh over it. They were like, we were so confused because she described the server with explicit details, but no one remotely like that works here, so we thought she just lost her mind. My boss knew who I was from her description and told them that he takes this very seriously and asked what day this occurred. Then when they told him, he said, you must be mistaken because that's the server's day off and she wasn't here. After some irate yelling and screaming at my very friendly manager about how I still need to represent the restaurant wherever I go, she gave up. Now to just cross my fingers she doesn't come by my actual restaurant. No, I am not his manager, I'm the security guard. A short but sweet incident happened while I was at work. I normally arrive and park in the customer parking at work and walk in wearing my security uniform, grey business shirt, logo, security in large letters on the back. As I walk in, I see the manager dealing with a small group of patrons. EP, patron, and me. EP walks up to me and begins, your staff member here needs to be punished. He is racist and refusing to serve us. EP has a slurred voice. None of her party appear sober. Right, hold on. I go to talk to the manager, refusal of service, offensive behaviour, etc, etc. I walk back to EP. Well, I'm the security guard. It says it on my shirt. He is the manager of this establishment. He has refused you service under the Alcohol Act and I'm asking you to leave. Refusal to leave will result in police attendance and a $5,000 fine. So you're not his manager? No. You should change your uniform then. You should read what the shirt says before making assumptions. Have a good night. Wait, so EP wants the security guard to change his security top because it's confusing her. Right, makes a lot of sense. Now I know a lot of the time these stories are quite negative, but they are funny. But for once I thought let's end with a positive story, so here we go. I don't work here, but you were trying to make your kid happy. A positive story. Went to GameStop to see if they had a Nintendo Switch and a copy of Let's Go Pikachu. Nephew made straight A's on his progress report and I was proud of him. A woman came in when one of the cashiers was in the back and the one in front was busy with another customer. She came up to me and asked if I knew any games with cute monsters. She looked kind of confused as she tried to explain the game to me. Then she said, I'm sorry, I'm bad at explaining games. I don't know why they are popular, but they make my daughter happy. She's been having a hard time recently because no one wanted to come to her birthday. That broke my heart, so I helped her. The woman bought her a few Yokai Watch and Pokemon games because the monsters in those games are cute. At this point, the cashier that was in the back came up to me with a Switch and LGP and asked if I was ready to check out. I told the man that I was busy with a customer because I really wanted to help this woman make her daughter happy, but then she got really apologetic when it clicked I wasn't an employee. To the girl who didn't have a good birthday, your mum really wanted you to have a good day, and I hope your next few birthdays are the best for you. Well, I think that's a very nice place to end today's episode of r/IDontWorkHereLady. If you enjoyed, like, share and subscribe for more Reddit content from me.